he comes now, the big hand.
I'm Mr. White Christmas. I'm Mr. Snow. I'm Mr. Icicle. I'm Mr. Ten Below. Friends call me Snow Miser. Whatever I touch turns to snow in my clutch. I'm too much.
Welcome to episode 157 of Both Down, the #1 Blood Bowl podcast.
That's a prime Christmas episode.
It's the season of giving, and Scott keeps just giving me headaches with that screaming into the microphone.
It's a prime
It is a prime
Christmas
episode
because it's episode 157.
Okay, this is Steve, a.k.a. Kilwoggy. With me, as always, is Scott Prime, the king of prime numbers, I guess.
Yeah, I'm like a weird Batman villain now. I only care about prime numbers.
I am Prime Man.
It's better than everybody thinking like, oh, you must love Optimus Prime. Or is it Rodimus Prime? It's like, neither.
No, it has to be one. That's why you're named that way.
It's neither.
I don't know. You made some dice that were very Optimus Prime looking.
Yeah. I did kind of fall into that, so that is true. It's Christmas time, everybody.
Merry Christmas, everyone. We're doing our first ever Christmas episode.
Yeah, we thought we'd do like a little Christmas episode because like we didn't get enough and give you enough before. So we thought, let's come back. Let's talk about some Christmas stuff and maybe do a little fluffy thing here.
I hope so because I did all the work. So
yeah, I did some work too. Christmas stuff. You ready, Steve? You got the tree set up?
No, there's no tree here.
What's Christmas like in Denver at your house? Is it different than when you lived with me?
Oh, well, yeah, of course. No, I mean, there's no kids here. It's just adults.
No tree?
No tree that I know of. I haven't seen one.
Aww. You need
not
to celebrate
snowing.
your pagan holidays.
I did go downtown Denver for a weekend and got to see all the Christmas celebrations there and the German Christmas market, which was super packed.
Yeah, was it fun?
It was enjoyable. I don't know
Would
if
it have
it's
been
fun.
Better with a group of people?
Probably, just because I'm hanging out with a group of people. But that market was just so busy.
Okay.
And like I enjoyed walking around downtown and seeing stuff. But is that fun? I don't know. Like I would do it again just to do because I guess it is fun to walk around and see stuff, but I didn't have like, super buku's amount of fun, I guess.
Okay. Was it nice to get away for the weekend?
Absolutely. It was just nice to relax a little bit. Had a nice hotel room, great view, just hung out and did whatever. I hit up a cool old movie theater, but the seats kind of sucked. Went to a cool game store. Didn't have anything I needed. Went out to a couple of fancy places to eat. It was all kind of meh. Like the only great thing from that weekend is I hit up a donut shop and it had amazing donuts. It had literally probably the best donut I've ever eaten in my life, which is like, because they're like layered donuts, kind of like a cronut.
Yeah, Jennifer said like Steve had an epic life-changing moment with a donut, and I laughed, and she goes, no, he wrote like 2 or 3 paragraphs about this donut.
It was great. And one was enough. Like I had 2 just to try, but 1 was enough. But yeah, so like they had a downtown, I guess wherever I was, I don't know, by the theater, they had this store called Mutiny Comics or Mutiny Cafe, 2 places in one. And it had pinball machines, and it had comic books, and it had old books, and it had a cafe. And I was like really excited to go there because it looked huge on the map and because it had different locations, all this stuff. I got there and it was tiny. It was like a quarter of the size I expected. And then the organization was not great. It was kind of like an old bookstore. Had no light in between the the rows, so I couldn't really see stuff. And then the comic selection was just meh at best. So like
Hmm.
everything I was hoping to do and just kind of like, it was okay, but it's still fun.
Well, we had a little getaway kind of. We traveled down to Garland, Texas, which is a suburb of Dallas. We were in Dallas, Texas.
Right.
Um, for the first time since I can remember, it took us over 5.5 hours to get to Dallas.
What? Why? It's usually, for everyone knowing, it's like 2.5, 3 hours to Dallas.
Yeah, the way I drive, it's 2.5.
Yeah.
And so we did stop in Denton for an hour at this recycled books place
Okay.
in Denton, which is amazing. It's like they get used books in and they're like, we can't throw anything away. So if you wanted a 1977 Mustang, like a car manual,
Hmm.
it's there. So everything's there and all these different nooks and crannies. And I knew Jennifer would love it. Um,
Sounds cool.
it was misting, like the weather said is going to be like raining all day, but we never encountered rain. We encountered like mist. It was either super light mist or a heavier mist, but never raindrops. And everywhere we went, we would drive 30 miles and then we'd be in a wreck zone for 10 miles. And I mean, not just moving 40 miles an hour, I mean, dead stop several times. I
Jeez.
wanted to peel my own skin off of my face because I was going insane that we couldn't get there. We left at 10 o'clock, like
Yeah.
10 minutes till 10 o'clock. We get to our hotel about 10 minutes till 5 o'clock.
Damn.
The wrestling event, we went to go see the Ring of Honor, or ROH, as many people call it, their pay-per-view called Final Battle. And if you don't know, Ring of Honor is owned by the people who own All Elite Wrestling. Same parent company. They just have two different wrestling brands. So we knew that we were going to see some of those superstars or former WWE guys wrestle, as well as some up and comers. So we thought the show was. They only announced like 5 matches or so about a week out,
Yeah.
and we checked it that morning, and they announced like 5 more matches. I believe we saw 11 or 12 matches because there was a few matches that weren't even on the card
Dang.
published. We saw wrestling nonstop from 6 o'clock to a little bit after 11, like 11:10, 11:15, something like that.
Jeez, that's a lot.
We saw a match where somebody went through a table that was covered in thumbtacks.
Ugh.
I mean, we've seen all sorts of craziness. We saw like a 6-way elimination match
You saw
for a
the
new tag.
returns of some Texas royalty.
Yeah, we saw the Von Erichs. We saw Kevin Von Erich, the only surviving Von Erich, and his sons. So, and we got to see like people like Bryan Danielson, John Moxley, former WWE heavyweight champions, and FTR, which was known as the Revival over in WWE. Saw them. Cesaro was there. So we got to see quite a few people. Remember the lady Ember Moon over in WWE?
Yeah. Yeah.
Dustin was in love with
Dustin
her.
loves her. Yep.
Kind of, yeah, hot little black chick. Anyway, she was there. She was in the main event. Like she was the last match on the night and wrestled a good match. So it was a lot of fun. Jennifer finally got to see kind of like a pay-per-view. Unfortunately, the place didn't have a lot of ticket sales. So our $20 tickets, we got an email right before that said like you need to go check in with the box office. And sure enough, we got upgraded to $90 tickets.
Nice.
And so it was pretty cool. So we had a good time. The concessions there were by far the worst concessions maybe I've ever been at, including high school and junior high events.
Jeez.
For real, it was god awful.
Like quality or price?
Just the quality. I mean,
Was it worse than Texas? Because at the Rangers game, you tried like every stupid food, and everything was horrible.
This makes the Texas Ranger ballpark food look like a 10,
Jeez.
and this is like a 3. It was really bad. We only got like a pretzel and a Coke, but anyways, it was the service, the length. It doesn't matter. We had a good time overall.
Yeah.
But because the trip was so long, we didn't get to shop. So the next day we did some shopping around. We hit Madness Comics. Madness Comics and Games, and it should be called Plushies now because that's all they have is a ton of plushies. But
That
and
store
socks.
just changes itself every 2 years or so. It's just like
Yeah, it
you never know
changed
what's going to
itself
be.
again. Then we hit I think it's called Zeus Comics. It's right next to Common Ground Games, which is a nice game shop. I think they're owned by the same people, just
Okay.
in the same plaza, where it looks like two different businesses. But anyways, both nice places. Then we hit Titan Comics before we left, and then hit Ollie's back in Ardmore as we drove back. Driving back, we got back in like 2 hours and 45 minutes. I mean, if you don't count the time that we stopped
Yeah.
at Ollie's.
A little known
So
fact, Titan Comics was the name that I proposed for my comic book store should I ever make one. Because
well,
I already had the logo made up and everything because you had the big planet and then the ring with the little moon on it,
yeah,
but never came
never
to be.
happened.
No.
So that was our kind of like pre-Christmas getaway before the crazy Christmas holidays and stuff. So
That's good.
yeah, I guess we're fortunate to have busy times coming up. I always complain about the holidays, and at the same time, I need to remember it's a reminder that I have people that want to see me because
Hmm.
starting Saturday, we hit 2 family events, and then Sunday, 2 family events, and then Christmas Day, 2 family at different
Jeez.
events. That does not include doing anything at my own home or Jennifer's home with our kids. So we're
I do believe I am probably going to go watch movies on Sunday, Christmas Eve this year, and then Christmas Day. I don't know. I don't have any plans. So, bag and board comics, maybe.
we're like the polar opposites. I got a million places to be, and you got a million movies to see.
And you always complain, nobody likes me. You're going to like 8 different places. I'm out
Well,
here on my own. Nobody loves me.
I love you. I sent you something.
Just try to save yourself now.
Hey, no, I sent you
No, I
something.
appreciate it. And like I truly went to like the German market. I'm like, I'm gonna buy everybody, some cool little German market trinket. They'll be Christmas related and be thoughtful. And no, that place was so packed. And I get it. It's probably the busiest time of the year for them. They need to expand it to make it wider because they have it in a nice little area that makes sense where to have it. But just like there was no room to walk, all the lines were about 40 people long. And even when I did find like little stalls and stuff to buy something,
Mm-hmm.
glass ornament, $35. A little
Yeah,
felt Santa Claus ornament, $25. I'm like, I'm not doing this. So,
I got you. I understand. Well, is this done with our intro? Should we
I guess
just get
so.
to some Blood
You
Bowl?
want to tell people what
All
we're
right.
doing?
Well, we're going to doing some fluffy stuff where we talk about some like Christmas or holiday teams. And me and Steve had some loose rules, but I think we both went opposite directions, and that is fine.
Yes, we did.
And then Steve doesn't know this, but I'm going to ask him some stuff like favorite Christmas song, favorite
Well,
Christmas
why you
memory, or
telling me now?
something like that. Oh, I shouldn't have told you.
And
Anyways,
yes, this is
and
quote unquote Christmas related. We're both of the Christo variety of people. Like, we're going to celebrate Christmas. We grew up that way. We don't know enough about Hanukkah or anything else to really contribute to that. But if you worship that way, awesome, no problem. We'd love to provide for more content, but we don't know what is, you know, good content versus making fun. So we're just going to keep it to Christmas. We can do that.
all right.
Like
Well,
I could make a Hanukkah star player. I don't know. Does he get
no,
he can
I,
move up
I
to
don't know.
8,
I
but he
don't
has to roll each time to see if he can go that far. I'm like, I don't know.
know. And let's cut it right there before Steve gets weird on us. We'll be back with some Blood Bowl, Christmas themey stuff, just for the fun of it. So stay tuned.
Before we get back to the funny cut-ins of Christmas stuff that I spend way too much time doing, I wanted to stop in and tell you that we've opened up a shop called the Big Deal Swag Shop. It's at bigdealswag.com, SWAG. You can find all the Both Down products there, any leftover stuff that we have from tournaments, and I'm hoping to be getting swag from other tournaments as well. So you can look on there, you can send stuff to me to sell it on a commission, or I can just buy it straight from you. So I'll keep adding stuff to there, basically making a one-stop shop for tournament swag. And in addition, allowing us to have a place for us to put all of our Both Down stuff. Please check it out, bigdealswag.com. And now, back to Christmas stuff.
I'm Mr. Green Christmas. I'm Mr. Sun. I'm Mr. Heat Blister. I'm Mr. 101. They call me Heat Miser. Whatever I touch starts to melt in my clutch. I'm too much. He's Mr. Green.
Before we get to our Christmas themed Blood Bowl teams or whatever, let's talk about how we finished the podcast and we said, I'm surprised there's nothing new coming out. There's always something new announced in like December or something. And we said, nothing's coming.
Yeah,
And I'm
and
telling
I
you, folks,
made mention of, we missed out on the made to order stuff. No, you can do the made to order stuff. It actually goes on sale after Christmas for like a week. So you can still
and
go
that's
do
all
that.
the cheerleaders. Is that correct?
Cheerleaders and the refs, yeah.
Okay. And then
And then,
there's
yes,
also
they did release something.
Yeah, and the Skitter Stab Stabs coming out at some point.
Yeah.
So,
and we've not received him, so we don't know what's going on with that.
Yeah, I wish I could tell you more about it, but we really don't have anything. So that was a surprise to us, and ironic that it came out the day after like we recorded.
Yeah, we recorded and it
episode.
released it, and I shared it on Facebook. I'm like, go ahead and look at this, and then forget about it when we talk about the podcast.
All right, so I test Steve into what I wanted to do is us both come up with our like a Christmas team for Blood Bowl, and to me the obvious thing is like a chaos team, chaos chosen, because the beastmen could represent reindeer. And I believe Steve at that point was like, can't we just make up our own races and stuff like that? And anyways, we're going to do two different things here because Steve's going to do what he does and I'm going to do what I do. And I don't know which one of us should go first.
Go ahead and do yours first.
Okay. Gladly.
So you took the existing race of Chaos Chosen and decided to make a Christmas team out of that.
Yeah, my thinking is like something that you would see in a Spike magazine.
Okay.
Maybe. You know how like the Spike magazines have like
Teams of Legends.
Here's the team of legends, and almost everybody has like one skill and somebody has two skills. So I'm going with something like that. And of course I'm going a little bit off the TV Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer by Rankin Bass.
Of course.
And at the same time, I want to use Krampus. So I'm just kind of taking a little bit of whatever I want. So first I want to start off with the reindeer. Now I have 8 reindeer. Then you're thinking, but there's 9 reindeer if you include Rudolph. And it's like, yes, I did include Rudolph, but for my first reindeer is Dasher and Dancer. They are a 2-headed beast man with 4 arms because I wanted to include them together, and you always hear Dasher and Dancer together. So that's the 2 skills they got. And what I wanted to do with this team is most of them have only 1 skill, with a couple of them having 2 skills.
Okay.
And then the Rudolph character having 3 skills, and then we have a couple of star players.
Okay.
So Dasher and Dasher is my first beastman. 2 names, 2 heads, 4 arms. Prancer, simply sidestep.
Makes sense.
Vixen, dodge. Comet, prehensile tail, because I'm taking literally like a comet in space has a tail.
Oh, okay.
Or a coma, or whatever, what they call it.
Yeah.
I just was trying to think something, but I was like, speed. Do I go speed? Do I go not speed? I don't know. Cupid. We're going with guard. because Cupid kind of like, if you think of the little cherub that kind of nudges you to fall in love, I thought of this person being able to help you out when you need to make a block. So guarded is for Cupid. And then I have Dunder or Donner. The original, I guess, story had Dunder and Blixen,
Mm-hmm.
but it was like Blixem, which was thunder and lightning in German. So with Dunder, we got block. We got horns. It already comes with horns, so we got block. So there's our kind of like Blitzer type characters, and Blitzum's very similar, except they got wrestle. So some pretty decent pieces there. And then we have Rudolph, who's the captain of the Beastmen. He has a disturbing presence because of that glowing nose that distracts you. He is the leader kind of the reindeer. And for a while, he had to rely on himself. So he has pro as well. So he got leader and pro and disturbing presence for Rudolph. I went ahead and I was only going to have like one or two Chaos Warriors, but I went ahead and pulled out some. I got four of them. We got Hermie, the little misfit elf that loved to like pull people's teeth all
I'm
the
going to be a
time.
dentist.
He's got to be a dentist for sure. He has Dirty Player because if you remember in that cartoon, he was always pulling people's teeth out left and right. So he is a Chaos Warrior with Dirty Player. Yukon Cornelius, he has Frenzy. If you remember, he scared the Bumble and pushed him off the mountain. So he's not scared of anything. So he's got some Frenzy. And then I have a Chaos Warrior named the Bumble or the Abominable Snowman from the old Rankin Bass show. He, of course, has, since Bumble's bounce, he has jump up and claws. Because that's kind of what his character looked like. He had claws. So that's what he has. Then we have Snowman Sam, which up until this point, I didn't realize the snowman, Burl Ives, was named Snowman Sam or Sam the Snowman. He's going to just have stand firm because he looked like he was going to be hard to move. For our large monster, we have the Minotaur, and of course, this is going to be Krampus. He gets foul appearance and brawler because he's scary looking. He's supposed to scare kids, so I kept with that. Now for the star players, we got star players, and I did not put a money value to these characters at all.
Same here. When I do,
so don't even ask. But for Santa Claus. His stats are 6, 4, 3, 9, and you're thinking boy, he sure moves fast. Well, he can go up the chimney by just putting his finger by his nose. So I wanted to give him a little speed, normal speed, even though he's deceptively chubby, but he's there, right? He's solid, but he's.
Does he have passing? Because you said 6, 4, 3, 9.
He did. I just did 6, 4, 3, 9 is what I did. Yeah.
Now is that 9+ or is that 10+?
It should be a 9+.
Okay.
Or really, I'm sorry. You're right. It should be a 10+. Golly,
I know. You got to get to the new rules, man. It's only been 3 years now.
Yeah, he's tough. He's decently agilic. He's strong like a Chaos Warrior. His skills are block, strip ball, and tackle.
Okay.
Because if you're naughty, he can take you down or take things back because you've been a good child or bad child. His special power is ho 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 or bowl full of jelly. So you get to choose to use one of these skills. If you use bowl full of jelly, he auto heals. So if you knock this character out, you can choose to just be stunned. Or if you casualtied him, he could just go to the reserve box. It's
so either way he goes to the reserves, or is an apothecary, he'd stay on the field if you got KO'd.
I haven't really thought that far. My real thought was a regen that automatically works.
Okay. So he's at least off.
Right. Or the ho ho ho, at any point he can re-roll any group or single dice. So it's similar to Griff's pro skill, except it's better because you can use a group of dice instead of just one. I couldn't resist not having Frosty, the ice troll. Or similar to an ice troll, but I just have him Frosty the Snowman. Anyways, he has 4 movement, 5 strength, 1 agility. He has 10+ armor, he has Blizzard. Once per game, he can set the weather to a blizzard
Ooh, I like that.
for one drive. When this happens, he gets a +1 to all his stats for that one drive.
Huh.
After
what are
the
his stats?
blizzard's over,
Oh, okay.
the weather goes back to normal, to just the plain normal, and all his stats are decreased by 1.
I really like it. One suggestion: make it very sunny, so that way he's melting.
Okay, well, yeah, I didn't think about that. I just thought normal.
No, but yeah, I like it.
But the skills he has is loner, guard, regen, and brawler. Now Santa, he has no loner. He is a loner, but he is a team world player. He can use rerolls whenever he wants.
Nice.
So that is my kind of simplistic Santa team that I know are Chaos Warriors and stuff, but really they're meant to be good people. So
Okay. Well, what I did is I took the ball and you're like, yeah, make a new team. Okay, new race. Wait, no, new team. Oh, new race. Yes, new race. So going off the chaos theme with chaos, Christmas chaos magic. So
okay.
I did a whole new race. First up, we have 0 to 8 elves. Elves are 5, 2, 2 plus, 5 plus, 6 plus. They have dodge. Let me know if you know what this skill is. Give and go. It's a
Give
real
and
skill
go?
that's in the game.
Give and go.
Give and go.
It's not in the books.
It sure is. It's in Dungeon Bowl.
Okay.
If this player performs a handoff action, their activation does not have to end once the handoff is resolved. If you wish, and this player has not used their full movement allowance, they may continue to move after resolving the handoff.
Nice.
So I saw that and I'm like, that's kind of perfect. They have right stuff, because of course, sure hands, and then they have a special skill that's new called Wrapped Present. If this player is removed from the pitch at any time, roll a d6. On a 3 through 6, another elf pops into play standing in the same spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're just annoying little shits. But it's 6 plus to get rid of them, sort of.
And no stunty.
No stunty.
Okay.
They're just they're annoying, but I don't want them to be overly, good. They're not great.
0 to 8.
0 to 8. You also have 0 to 8 reindeer, which are 6, 3, 3 plus, 3 plus on passing, and 9 plus. And they have horns and up on the housetop, which is pogo stick.
Nice.
We have 0 to 4 snowmen guards.
Because the pogo stick allows them to leap.
Mm-hmm. They ignore everything.
Without having the leaps. Yeah.
So they just
that's nice.
run around and fly, basically.
Okay.
Then snowman guards, 0 to 4. 4, 4, 4 plus, 4 plus, 9 plus. And they just have stand firm and grab. So just your regular, big guys. And then 0 to 1 Santa, who is 6, 5, 4 plus, 2 plus on passing, 11 plus on armor value, with always hungry, kick teammate, and throw teammate.
Always hungry is a good one.
Isn't it?
Dang it. I should have. Gosh dang it. I wish I would have thought of that.
Well, if he can't have cookies, he might eat an elf. So
okay.
That's the Chaos Magic team. I did make 3 star players. Obviously, we all go off the Rankin Bass stuff, but I just wanted to play up a little bit. Rudolph, 9, 2, 2 plus, no passing ability. And in retrospect, probably get rid of the passing ability of reindeers. Maybe give them no hand. I don't know. It might be too good, and if we actually played it out. And then 8 plus. Rudolph would have Loner 2 plus, Red Nose, which is Hypnogaze, Sprint, and Sure Feet.
I thought about hypnogaze, but I was trying to think of something that I could give them feasibly without making a special rule for it. But
Mhm.
now that he's a star player, that's a better way to do it.
And then his special skill, and some of these special skills are just going to be crazy, but that's just because it's fun. Lead the way. Once per game, Rudolph can use his red nose multiple times a turn and can continue moving after succeeding. If he fails, he is knocked out immediately.
Wow, can you imagine that?
Yeah.
Getting like 3
And 2+
hypnogazes.
agility, too. And 9 movement and sprint and sure feet. So, like, he can just go through and basically hypnogaze your whole team. If he fails once, he's out. I should probably put in
Interesting.
there, like, no rerolls or something like that. But he's loaned 2+ anyways, so. Then, again, Hermie the elf. 5, 2, 2+, 4+, 7+. Loner 2+, Dauntless, Dentist, which is stab, and on the ball. And then he has the Doctor is in. The first time Hermie fails a Dauntless roll, he can choose to succeed without having to roll, once per half.
That's nice.
And then the Grinch is my final star player, who is
Good one.
6, 4, 4+, no passing, 9+. Loner 2+, Animosity, just straight up animosity against everybody. Disturbing Presence, Foul Appearance, Frenzy, and Strip Ball, because he's just going in and being a jerk.
Right.
Then his special ability is Seasick Crocodile. Once per game, using the blitz action for your turn, the Grinch can grab the ball from a player on a roll of 4+. He will need to be next to the player with the ball and make all movements as normal. As per a normal blitz, he can move before and after the theft. If he fails, he is stuck in the square as he is caught.
Nice.
So he tries to sneak in and take the ball from you, and if he fails, he's right there for you to smash his face in.
Well done.
But yeah, so
That's pretty good.
the whole chaos magic race for you.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. It's a little out there, but
It's definitely out there.
yeah, I didn't want to make a new race, so that's why I was like trying to talk you into like just make it Chaos Chosen.
And in retrospect, maybe I should move the elves down to 0 to 4, just so that you don't have too many elves just clogging up the place. I don't know. I just did it for fun. Someone wants to test it out, feel free. Let me know how it is, and if you want to make adjustments, let me know. But
Hearing you talk, I realized that I said like my snowman had 1 agility. That would be like 5+ or whatever.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
Yeah, we do.
I know.
What you
I got old Blood Bowl rules in my head.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Steve, what's your favorite? Good job, by the way.
Thank you. You too. Yours.
Do you have a favorite Christmas song?
Go back a second. What I don't like about the idea with yours, and it's not against you, it's just the format of it. I would hate to play a team that has that many one-off skills. You know.
Oh, I agree.
And that's kind of why we've never really done the Teams of Legends stuff, because it's just like I don't want to keep track of that much stuff. It's just annoying.
There's a lot of skills to keep track of, for sure.
So Christmas song.
Yeah, favorite Christmas or holiday. It could be a holiday song, I guess. Is it the one about the mom's new shoes that the little girl?
I don't know. Yeah, there is something like that. She sells the comb to buy new shoes, and the daughter sells the shoes to give her a new wig, or I don't know.
I don't know.
That's a whole different thing.
There's not like a song that comes on and you actually find yourself singing to it.
I like most of the Christmas songs. I can tell you which one I hate, and pretty much everyone agrees on that one, so I don't even need to bring it up.
Is that the Mariah Carey song?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, God, I hate it too. You know what, though? I might hate it a tad less because I just found out, like, yesterday, I never realized her and somebody else wrote that song. I thought that was a remake of a song that They just never played the original
Right.
from. Like if you would have bet,
Yeah, yeah.
made me bet money 20 years ago, I'd have told you that was a remake. I just didn't realize that was an original song.
So there are some novelty songs that I always enjoy because I used to have a taped recording of Dr. Demento's Christmas shows for like 2 weeks. I listened to that all the time. Um, like there's a song called Christmas in Jail that just is enjoyable. But if I had to pick one, like I said, there's a lot of high contenders. Eartha Kitt's Santa Baby is one of my favorites.
That is a
I've
great choice.
and I've always loved Eartha Kitt, even before Batman. Like I like to watch old movies, and she's in a lot of great movies and like Spirit of St. Louis and stuff. And I liked her, and she was an amazing Catwoman. And then just that Santa Baby song, it just has the right mix of playfulness and seductiveness, and I think that's my favorite version. So
Mine is the Little Drummer Boy. The one that's by, and I can't remember the people, but it sounds like a bunch of nuns are singing it. It's not like the David Bowie one and Bing Crosby. It's the one that I guess most people would call the
okay,
most traditional
yeah,
Little Drummer Boy song. That one gets me every time. Now, like you, I actually really enjoy a lot of Christmas songs.
yeah,
I get upset when Christmas songs are played before Thanksgiving, even though I love Christmas, or at least the build up to Christmas, I should say. um, I do love Weird Al's Christmas at Ground Zero a
yeah,
lot.
yeah. That's a great song.
That that's a great
He also
song.
has Night Santa Went Crazy, which is still good, but not nearly as good as Christmas at Ground Zero, which is truly a great song.
Yeah, it's a really good song. The Night Santa Went Crazy is really good
Yeah,
too. There's quite a few Christmas songs I enjoy. If anything, I get mad at the radio playing like the same
same
20.
five. Yeah, that's the worst thing.
um,
I have a
but
question for you when we're done with this.
I also have a big soft spot in my heart for any Christmas song done by Johnny Mathis. And that's because when I was a kid, that was one of the few Christmas albums my family had was Johnny Mathis. So
Yeah,
we would play it over and over and over and over again. So like anything he sang that's Christmas, I'm like, oh, I think it's nostalgia, but still.
I'm so thankful. Like when I was growing up, that we had a vast, not vast, I would say probably 50 to 70 records. Like we had a good number of records, and we had a good number of cassette tapes, and it was a wide gamut of music. So like we had the Chipmunks Christmas album. I had to
I did not have the Chipmunks. I had the Crickets.
did not have that,
I'm
but
sorry, the Grasshoppers. It was the
okay.
Grasshoppers Christmas, which sounded just like the Chipmunks.
But we had like the Jim Neighbors Christmas album, a whole bunch of miscellaneous Christmas albums, and then cassette tapes and all this stuff. So it really opened my world to the world of music and not being pinned into just like one thing. Because if my great favorite stuff was the Chipmunks, I would want to kill myself. But it's still enjoyable.
Yeah, it's pretty not so great now to adults.
So
Um,
my question to you, if we were done with music,
sure.
what's your favorite Christmas special?
Hmm. Special. Like
Yeah,
a
TV special,
cartoon, TV
whatever,
show.
however you want to do it. Because for me, I'm immensely
I,
partial to Garfield because I grew up collecting Garfield. I love Garfield, and I love that episode. But also, the claymation Christmas is just awesome. I was always happy whenever that came on. And there's
the
also a
Playmate. What do you
claymation
mean?
Christmas with the
Yeah, what are you
claymation
talking?
with the like the raisins and the two dinosaurs that are like Siskel and Ebert that narrate and it's all music videos.
Oh, I'm sure I saw that, but
Oh
I
my
have no
god, I will
memory of
send
it
you a
right
link.
now.
It's
Okay.
amazing. It's from like 86, 88, something like that. Because it had the California raisins in it and it had really cool versions of the Christmas songs. It was all claymation. It was
I'm
awesome.
sure I'm sure I saw that. I just don't remember it. If thinking off the top of my head, it is either Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas
Solid choice.
or Christmas Vacation. And I still
The whole
chuckle at
movie?
some of those parts in Christmas Vacation Christmas or whatever it's called. So National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, I
Yeah,
think is
yeah.
the proper term. Those are really good. For the longest time, I still love all the old Rankin Bass like animated things. I think those have a special place in my heart for sure. I used to not really like Elf, and that was more because I'm not a big Will Ferrell fan. But as the years go on, it's becoming more enjoyable. Now, Christmas Story might be one of my all time classics.
Yeah.
Jennifer can't stand it. She just doesn't get it. I would. It's not Christmas, and I don't get to watch this now because I don't have TBS. But I miss having it on the background for 4 to 6 hours, playing over and over and over and over again.
No, I definitely get
Um,
that. That's a great one. I've never been a huge fan of Elf. Like I get the appeal, it's just not for me.
sure, I get that too. I'm just saying, if I liked it at a one or a two 15 years ago,
Yeah,
it goes up a little bit every year, just a little bit.
that's fair.
So
Um, I just sent you a link for the claymation Christmas celebration,
there's
which
parts of Polar Express I really, really
I've
like.
never seen that.
Just talking about the Christmas magic and stuff like that.
There was a good computer animated special that debuted the same time South Park did because it was on the same VHS tape. It was Santa Claus versus the Snowman, or the Snowman versus Santa Claus,
Okay.
something like that. It's crudely, for now, uh, computer animated, but it's essentially Snowman goes to, I think, the North Pole to complain about the noise and gets wrapped up in the factory, and he starts fighting Santa Claus, and there's this giant, big, epic battle between him and Santa. But
Hmm. Does
that's
Nightmare Before Christmas count? Is
it.
that a
Can
Halloween movie or
It's
a
both.
Christmas?
It's both. I consider
Home
it
Alone.
both.
Home Alone's pretty good too. That's
Uh,
another one that I didn't think like it would have a lot of repeat value, but my children just adore that movie. So I've been kind of forced to over the years to like see it at least once a year, especially when doing the Christmas tree, and it's
yeah.
kind of become a traditional movie that we kind of put on now, and I like it more now than I ever did. So
Yeah, as I say, it was never one of my favorites, but again, I don't have kids, so I don't have to rewatch this stuff. I just know it from when it first came out, and I'm like, I'm not a fan.
I mean, yeah, there's a lot of things I like different because of the children.
Yeah, of course.
Probably Polar Express is one of those things. They watched it a lot, and at times, like while the animation's good, it's not like the greatest animation, especially nowadays. But just some parts in there that I think are really clever and neat and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Especially kind of that magic thing of like, like just because you figure out that there is no Santa Claus, that Christmas can't be fun.
What?
Yeah. That type of thing. I always tell the story to a lot of people, especially at work, about how my kids. I mean, you remember this story, and I probably told it on here before. How my kids were like, I used to tease my kids, but when they started getting a little bit old enough where I knew they might start questioning Santa, I would say, "Hey guys, I'm Santa, ho ho ho," and I do this cheery thing,
Mm-hmm.
and my kids would just laugh, and they're like, "That's not how Santa sounds." And then I'd also talk about how I was going to capture Santa and keep him from giving toys to everybody, and my kids would get mad about that. But that one year, I remember the kids just laughed and laughed and said, "No, he doesn't sound like that, Dad." And I was like, "Oh, how do you know?" And and then I was like, "How do you even know he's like real?" And they're like, "Dad, you can't be Santa because you couldn't afford everything that Santa brings me." And I wish they would remember
Little do
that at
they
times.
know, they're right.
I wish they would remember that as teenagers. I keep hearing that they're going to grow out of this teenager phase, but
Yeah.
I hope, they remember that some while they're a teenager and appreciate all the BS that they get for no reason.
So when did you?
So
Spoiler alert for any children listening. When did you find out Santa wasn't real? Because I think I was 7 or so, and I was being an asshole like always, wanting to get to the presents early, and came downstairs and looked at the tree, and I saw Mom and Dad putting stuff together, And then
Mm.
Dad saw me and got super angry. And I was like, oh, I get it now.
Yeah, because they'd like to have fun with that.
Yeah, and I get it. But, I was a kid. I wanted presents. So that was my
Yeah,
favorite
you
thing. Just getting
you were a
down
little
early
shit.
before. Oh, yeah, I was. No doubt. Um,
I remember going through like a couple of phases where I didn't believe he's real, but then I did. And then I remember once I got suckered into like the newsman going, we just have something picked up on radar.
yeah.
And I was probably third or fourth grade. And I was like, I really wanted to believe that there was a magical dude. And I think that was probably the last Christmas that I like held on to the hopes of maybe this is real and maybe I
Yeah.
should play along. And I remember my dad hearing about like, you know, basically saying you should just go with it
Hmm.
and stuff. So,
I think
like
one
I
of.
told my kids once they found out, they were like, "Yeah, Christmas is not as fun once you find out Santa's not real."
It's also not as much fun as when you don't get presents and stuff. But, eh. That's not the whole
That's what.
meaning, but I get it.
That's why I was trying to send you something.
Oh, I appreciate it. Um, I think one of your
I got.
questions was going to be, what's your favorite Christmas memory? And
Yeah,
so this ties
or
into that. It was,
it could be two. I mean, like
yeah,
Jennifer
no.
was asking people at work, like, "What is your favorite one gift that you remember?"
Oh, gift, man.
Like hers was getting her own phone line, and
That
I
is,
don't think I have one gift. I have several different gifts for different chapters of my life. And we'll go back to your memory
yeah.
thing too, because
I, it's weird too because, like, the gifts that I loved, I can't remember insanely well. But, like, one of the most notable gifts I remember, I want to say is like eight. Well, the best gift I've ever gotten is Cubby, my like little stuffed bear for the Chicago Cubs that I got when I was like 6 or 7. It was like Christmas of 83, 84, something like that. And
wow, you had it that long.
yeah, I've had him that long.
Oh my gosh, you have dried humped that little poor guy.
Never touched him inappropriately. But he's always been there with me watching Cubs games, even today. Like when opening day starts up, he'll be right there with me watching the game. Um, but it's weird because like one of the most memorable gifts was Dad bought us, me and my brother, um, a remote control train, like on a track. Excuse me, and it went up the wall and it glowed in the dark. By all measures, an amazing gift. The problem is, I didn't give a shit about it. Like, had no interest in trains. I had no interest in slot tracks. I had, it was just, and it was super expensive. So I felt bad for Dad because I'm like, yeah, I get it. This is cool, but it's 100% not for us. We played with it like twice, and it just stayed in the box, and we never brought it out again.
Hmm.
Oh, the worst, yeah, the worst present ever was my stepmom giving me giant pillowcases with a cat with roller skates on. Ridiculous. Whatever.
I
Um,
was there for that.
yeah. The the second one, this is probably 86, 87, and I would kill for it now, but my brother Ronnie got me a Nintendo jacket. I didn't have anything Nintendo. Maybe, or I guess it would have to be after that if it was a Nintendo. Anyways, it was Nintendo jacket. It looked really cool, right? The problem is it was pink. It's a straight up pink Nintendo jacket. And I was like, I am so thankful for this. Thank you so much. And afterwards, I talked to Dad. I'm like, does he have a receipt? He goes, yeah, I already got it. Okay, thank God. So I took it back to Toys R Us, and I think I got Ducks Ahoy for the Commodore 64 or something.
That thing's probably worth a lot of money now.
Oh, I'm sure. Like, and it'd be cool to have, but not then. Not then.
So just some of my favorite memories would be like waking up to a Meridian Falcon, which was really awesome.
Yeah.
Another year was the year of, you remember the Star Wars diecast metal sets? The
Yeah.
little plastic sets that had all the little diecast
Mm-hmm.
tiny figures, like the
Yeah, we
miniatures.
had the Hoth one.
Yeah. Well, I had all of them except for two of them, and I got them all one Christmas, and that was
Jeez.
an amazing Christmas. That was a good memory. The probably the Christmas that sticks out the most as a child was the one where I gave my grandmother was amazing on my mom's side of the family. She would remember things that most normal parents don't. Like I get mad when I see people like go to the store and they go, I'll get my kid this big giant hollow Spider-Man that doesn't move. And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
no, give him the figure that you can pose. And it makes me mad when they just choose these crappy toys. My grandma paid attention to stuff like that. And one year I gave her a list of all this G.I. Joe stuff. And then I was looking for like gum or something. And I found the list, a Xerox copy of the list with lines through things. So I knew everything I was getting for Christmas from that side of the family because grandma orchestrated like
Yeah.
you get I'll get the Sky Striker, you get this figure, you get this figure, you get this. It was amazing. And I should have got an Academy Award because I knew everything I was getting. And I acted like it was the biggest shock ever in the world. It was the G.I. Joe Palooza Christmas
That'd be
ever. It
amazing.
was amazing. I got a Dwarf Giants medal team one year for Christmas from my dad. I got a Blood Bowl, Dungeon Bowl for one year, one Christmas, and I was super thrilled for that. So those kind of stick out as big things.
So I
Um,
want to veer off on the list you found. One of
uh-huh.
the worst Christmases and worst things. My sister, again, I am thankful to God, to whatever it is that I'm the person I am now, because I was a shit kid. Um, as such, I was snooping
You're
around.
kind of a shit kid.
I do not appreciate that, but um, I was snooping around in my sister's room. She'd moved back in with us after her divorce and all this BS. And I found a giant box of comics. And it was like hundreds of issues of comics. A lot of war
I think
comics, a lot of all this other stuff.
I think you told me this story, but continue.
Yeah, I had already organized them and put them onto my list before Christmas even got there. And then she
Did
gave
you
it
read
to,
them too?
yeah, I read some. I mean, so, and it was so disappointing because she was so excited and I got him and I tried to be excited. I'm like, oh, awesome. And then she's like, you already knew you had these, didn't you? Like, yeah. And is, it's the last time I did that, put it that way. That was a very
Right.
disappointing thing.
I got you. Couple other memorable Christmases. I remember we got snowed in one year where we couldn't go see family, and it was right before Eden was born. So in some ways, it was nice to have that one Christmas where we didn't have to travel anywhere, and it was just me. And at the time, it was my ex-wife and Wakeland. She got like her one. We never have a Christmas at home growing up,
Yeah.
and still don't because we travel everywhere,
It
and
was
we're blessed
2009, I'm
that
guessing.
probably so. Or
Because
we had
that
that
was,
snow that.
yeah, we got snowed in at my house and um, Mike,
Yeah, it had to
who
be
was,
2009 because Eden was born in 2010.
yeah, Mike, my roommate at the time, we wanted to go see Avatar. That was when Avatar came out. So we had to shovel out of like 2 feet of snow or whatever and hopped in the car and hoped we could make it to the theater.
Wow, you crazy man.
Yep.
But, but yeah, so we just had that peaceful,
That's nice.
calm Christmas where we got up when the kid got up. We had actually made breakfast. We got to like unpackage her toys and play with her and stuff like that. I think that might have been the same Christmas that my ex-wife got me a steel cage replica like a wrestling ring that was like in scale with the
Mm-hmm.
wrestlers. And I just remember me and Wakeland playing with that all the time because she really liked wrestling at the time. And so we'd set up matches and stuff like that. It was quite fun. So
You
I
mentioned,
know I bad talk my ex-wife a lot, but that was actually a good memory
well, that
for
was
that. So
before the turn after the second kid. Not even
well.
joking. Like, legitimately seek mental health, people. It's important. Um, Talking of breakfast, growing up, one of my favorite things was my dad making us French toast for breakfast. I was like, I love that. But whenever we did, we could have one meat. So it's either bacon or sausage. Couldn't have both. Always wanted both, couldn't have both. But on Christmas, we'd wake up, we'd get to play. Some of the presents were opened already, some of them weren't. And we could play with the stuff that's already opened. But before we could open anything, we had to have breakfast. And Dad would make French toast, and we could have bacon and sausage for that one day. And it was like,
Isn't that awesome?
yes, yes. Now as an adult, I can get it anytime I want, and I don't. Like, it's dumb.
It's the little things when you're a kid, though. It's like, oh
Yeah,
gosh.
this is amazing.
Another Christmas that sticks out, and I probably told this story before too, but it was I was young, super young. I don't remember the age. If I had to guess, 3, 4.
Jeez.
It's barely any of my memories, but I remember them kept saying like, if you keep being naughty, Santa Claus is going to bring you sticks.
Mm-hmm.
And I kept saying, no, he's not. He only brings presents. And no, Santa's not going to bring me sticks. There's no way he's going to do that. And I remember there was a giant present from Santa under my grandma's tree when we went over there after we opened up at my house. And this was before my sister. So I had to have been 3 or 4 because we're 5 years apart. And I remember I'm sure this is not what happened, but how I remember it is there was 75 people there at my grandma's house, which was never true. But they all said, let's go open some presents before we eat. You want to open the big one? And I was like, yeah, I'm going to open the big one. And I tore that thing open in front of 75 people and distant cousins. And I tore open that box. And inside there was, I'm sure it was a box that was like 1 foot by 1 foot, but it felt like it was like a 3 foot by 3 foot square box. Open that thing up, finely cut sticks, perfect, and just a pile of them. And I remember turning around and looking at all these MFers going like, what the? And then them laughing, and I
That
instantly
is,
cried.
even as an adult, I would cry at that. That's just wrong. I get
Dude,
it. I totally understand where they're coming from. But yes, that whole turning around and everyone laughing at you, like, ugh.
and you know what reality is there could have been like 2 people in there laughing at me,
Yeah, yeah.
but as I remember it, so there's like 3 heavy traumatic experiences that I'm not saying I didn't deserve it,
Yeah, yeah.
but that is one of them who has made Scott who he is today, or I probably have damage from.
Oh,
That one stands out, and I always was going to repeat that to my children, but I haven't.
one of my greatest gifts my brother and his wife got me was a TiVo, back when a TiVo was brand new. And that was life
Oh,
changing. Was amazing.
I'll just record this show and watch it
Oh,
later.
God, it was amazing. To prove how much of a shit I was as a kid, um, keep in mind, I believe this was when I was 17 years old. Um, I wanted a computer for Christmas, and I really wanted a computer for Christmas. I really wanted a computer for Christmas. I did not get a computer for Christmas. You know what I got? I got a giant fucking TV. And you know what I did? I whined like a baby.
You were that kid, huh?
Oh, God. I don't think I was always that way, but yeah, I was babied and just, I really wanted the computer for college and stuff. I was freaking out. And eventually did get one for like a graduation gift, but still, it was just like, I felt so bad. I mean, as an adult, I feel real bad about stuff like that. But,
Yeah.
I've made
The
up for
Atari,
my ways. I try.
getting the Atari for Christmas one year was
Yeah.
amazing. Getting the Nintendo for Christmas one year was amazing. But anyways, good. A lot of good memories. I guess to me, the best thing about being a kid was we did one grandma's house on Christmas Eve. This was when my parents were still together.
Mm-hmm.
Got up the next morning, did Christmas at my house, and then went to my other grandma's in by 11 o'clock or so. And then my memory is that we stayed over there until like 9 or 10 o'clock at night, just watching football, watching, whatever,
Yeah,
Christmas
just hanging
shows
out.
and
Yeah.
parades and just hanging out. And I kind of sometimes get upset nowadays when I feel like some of the families like, all right, we're done Christmas. We ate, let's get out of here. And
And
I'm like, can we
yeah,
just sit and enjoy it?
you got to make your
But
enjoyment, hang out with your people when you can.
I know. I told myself I didn't have the money this year to buy extra people gifts, and I wasn't going to because I really don't have the money.
Yeah.
And then I found myself buying a lot of people gifts, and I felt guilty for doing that. And then I felt bad for saying I wasn't going to do it. And Jennifer said, she was like, "Just be who you are."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Well, some of these people don't deserve these gifts." And she said, "So."
And
She's like, "Why are you
sometimes
going to
that's
let it?"
why they need it.
She's she's like, "Why are you going to let that kill your joy? If you normally want to buy something for somebody, just do it." Because
Hmm.
I I have some friends, and you know who they are without me mentioning names, who don't have anything.
Yeah.
Um, and they don't interact like they should, but I still try to take care of them because if anything, they can say like I was there for them.
Hmm.
So, anyways, yeah, and I bought a few gifts for some people at work who I feel like would be just like uplifting for them to let somebody know that they care. So,
That's important. Sometimes that's all you need. Like, um, I just posted because I went downtown for quote unquote Christmas, but it was also 1 year anniversary of my life changing. And in the thing I put on Facebook talking about it, because everyone was asking like, "Why are you in downtown Denver?" Blah blah blah. I wouldn't. I'm at the best point in my life right now, realistically.
that's good.
My future is incredibly bright. I'm happy, looking forward to it. Knock on all types of wood that I'm not jinxing anything. But a year ago, I would not have said that. And I only made it here by the assistance and help of other people. And that's what you can do. That's what Christmas is about. That's helping other people when you can. One gesture, letting someone know that you're thinking about them or you care, can change their whole day, which can change their week, which can change their month, their year, everything. Sometimes they need to borrow your strength. And when you reach out and you help them out, you're doing that. So,
Yeah, and I
not
didn't
just a,
want it to make it sound like I was trying to brag that I bought some people Christmas presents. So I
oh,
don't
no,
I
you're
don't want it to
not.
sound like that.
But no,
um,
what I'm saying is it comes from your desire to help people. And this is what
well,
you do. You do the olive branches, you try to give them stepping stones to where they can walk out and you've done what you can. And that's the best thing you can do in life is give that to someone. We try to reach out to people with this, limited as it is, but we've had people reach out to us and tell us how impactful that is. It's important to let people know that you care. It's important to let people know that they're not alone. If they're going to feel that way, and if they continue to act that way, well, they're going to be alone. But if they need out, if
right.
they need a help, they need a hand, like we've said many times, we're random people you may not have ever met in real life. Shoot us an email if you need. We're happy to talk. Whatever it is. It's all you can be there. It's all you can do is be there for other people.
Yeah, I mean, like I used to laugh at my dad for giving like the garbage men a Christmas present,
Hmm.
and now here I am, not in the same way, but at the same time, I'm for the last couple of years at work, I've picked just a couple people at random that I felt like just needed to know that they're loved.
Yeah.
That they might be on the struggle bus or you know. So, anyways, yeah, Jennifer's right. I shouldn't let some friends just because they don't reach out ruin my fun, and I'm gonna keep enjoying it. So anyway, enough on that stuff. Do you have anything else you'd like to talk about Christmassy?
Do you not have any more questions, or we kind of make our way through them all?
Oh, we talked about the gifts or memories. We kind of hit all that together, didn't we?
Yeah.
I can't think of one gift that's like the gift of all the gifts.
Like I said, going back and looking at it, I think the TiVo was the one that had the biggest impact, just because it was so revolutionary at the time. And like I said, this is legit before it was anywhere, and having that ability to record 20, 30 hours worth of stuff on a machine and access it whenever you want at any time, it was amazing. Um, But yeah, just all the stuff I've gotten throughout the years. I'm glad to be away from the penguins. I don't know if I've talked about that on here before, but I
Steve loves penguins.
I was helping a friend clean out his room one time, and his mom was a hoarder, and we didn't know that term at the time, but that's what it was. So he kind of wanted to keep his room clean at all times. Well, it got a little dirty or messy, and I like cleaning stuff and helping people out, so I was helping him out. I was probably 15, 16 years old, something around there. I found the tiniest little 1 inch tall, 1.5 inch tall penguin with a top hat and a wand. And I was like, "What's this?" And he goes, "Oh, that's just an old Christmas ornament." I go, "Cool, I'm taking it." So I took it. And he thought it was funny. He told his mom. And that year for Christmas, his mom made me like a stuffed penguin. And I thought, "Oh, that's kind of cute." And then when I opened it at Christmas, my family was like, "Why'd you get a penguin?" Like, "Oh, because, blah, 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 the story." I'm like, oh, that's cool. Yeah, next year, everybody started giving me penguin crap. And I got so much penguin stuff.
That's because you love Christmas
Now,
penguins.
I did get two really cool things out of it. I got a penguin and a wishbone dog from the Wishbone TV show in Green Lantern costumes. Independently of each other, my friend's mom and my sister made those for the same year of Christmas. So I thought that was really cool.
I think I gave you a Christmas bag with a penguin on it.
Mm-hmm.
Because
I ended up,
sorry.
I ended up giving. Oh, this year. Okay. No, that's fine. Yeah, I think I ended up giving all the Christmas penguin stuff to one of your old coworkers.
Yeah, I believe you did too.
He was happy about it though. So
Well, to wrap this up, I think this is going to sound like a typical dad answer, but I miss the kid. I really do miss the kids being young,
of
where
course,
Christmas was
yeah.
magical because it was so much more fun. Now, that does not mean I at any time want to be a grandparent to relive those moments.
Right.
That's not what I mean by that.
Knock on some woods. That doesn't happen.
Yeah. So I don't mean that at all, but I do remember and really cherish those memories of, you know, Christmas is dumb if you think about it. Like we're just giving gifts for no reason.
Mm-hmm.
Like luckily I get an extra paycheck almost every year at this time of year, the way my paychecks fall. So it works out for me, but I can't imagine somebody else without that extra paycheck or something who it cripples. And it's crippled me in the past. So I
Yeah.
get it.
Oh, that.
Nobody should go in debt over Christmas, that's for sure. But it is fun to have the excuse to be like, I'm gonna get Steve something. Well,
Mm-hmm.
why? Why not? He likes this.
Yeah.
He doesn't need this. This will be fun. That one year I got my sister that like $150 Lego set because my sister's pretty stiff, conservative,
Yeah.
and she started getting into these Lego things. And that one year, I remember she opened that up and she just burst into tears of happiness, and that is like so much fun. So
One of the
if I was
last
if I was
times.
rich, man, you guys
Oh
would get a
yeah.
lot of stuff.
My family's not really done the gift giving stuff in a long time, really. But like one of the last years I did, I had no idea what to get my dad because my dad's the type of guy that he's simple, but anything he wants, he'll get. Um,
Right.
I ended up. This was when I was living with him at the time. No, he and the stepmom were living at the old house. I was not living there, but I had a remote, so I was able to get into the garage. I ended up buying like $200 worth of food to donate to charity in his name, and I basically put it all in his garage, just so when he showed up, he'd have it because he was volunteering at a homeless shelter at the time, and
Mm,
I
that's
was
good.
like, "Here you go," and I just got like a phone call of him crying, like, "Oh my God, that's so nice," blah blah blah. But that's what you do it
Yeah, that's
for.
pretty good. For sure.
Make old people cry.
No, it's just fine. It's really fun when you find that thing. Somebody's
Yeah.
like, I mean, that one, I think it was the last Christmas I had with my grandmother. I found out she liked Woody Woodpecker back, which makes sense because it came out when she was, young girl.
Yeah.
And I found an old Woody Woodpecker album, and I bought it off eBay. And we pulled out the record player at Christmas, and she sang to it. It was just, it was, it was nice to see her feel youthful and stuff. So yeah, I get it, totally get it. So
I had
um,
I had a record picked out for you, and I asked Jennifer if you had a record player, and she said no. So
no,
I was like, I don't really want to buy him a record that he's not going to play.
no.
Wonder what it was. I need to remember what it was now.
Although my child asked for a record player this year for Christmas, and of course my father's going to make sure they get it. So
Yeah,
I guess we'll have a record player in the house eventually. But
that'd be cool. It was just some old wrestling record. Well, I think it was Jesse Ventura's album. I was like, oh, that'd be so cool to get. And then I saw how much it was. I'm like, no.
yeah.
He also doesn't have a record player, so.
Yeah. Well, I can't think of anything else besides we can keep rambling and rambling on, which is some people have already turned this off and some people are just really loving this. I have no idea which, but
yeah, whatever.
Way.
It's Christmas. Enjoy it.
All right. Should we come back with some shout outs, Steve?
Sure. We'll be right back.
Hi, folks. Welcome back to the Satellite. As a special treat, Crow, Tom, and I have written and are going to perform an original Christmas carol.
Mike, it's not just for Christmas. It's for holidays of all faiths.
Yeah, and don't call it a carol because carol is a woman's name, and we want this song to be all-inclusive.
Right. Why don't you hit a camera? There we go. Let us all now sing our praises to the Lord today. Although you may not share our belief system, which is perfectly okay.
Maybe you worship an abstract being that is kind of vague. Or maybe you just worship a guy whose name is Greg.
Perhaps your religion doesn't include a time called Lent, but whatever your religion is, we support you 100%.
So sit around the fire and have a chestnut roast, or raise a glass in toast to Happy Days Donny Most.
But if you prefer to eat Indian food on Christmas Day, I can only shrug my shoulders and say namaste, namaste.
Personally, I prefer turkey, gravy, and salad. But let's never forget, all cultures are valid.
So let's have peace on earth and cut out all the bull. Let's have a holiday season that's multicultural.
If there's one point we'd like to make with this festive holiday song,
it's that Christmas comes just once a year, so for a few days, for crying out loud, can we all just get along?
Hey,
Wow.
that was actually pretty good.
That was great. It was lovely.
Good job.
Very nice.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Last part of the show with the ho, 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 and time for...
Shout outs!
Can we not retire that? That'd be a nice Christmas present for me.
No, it's the only time I can be like silly.
Okay. Yeah, because
It
all the
keeps
rest
me
of the time
youthful.
Okay, that's fine.
I mean, I don't have a little bear that I've had since 6 that I, hunched in the middle of the night. So
Again, nothing inappropriate has ever happened between me and Cubby.
come on, dude.
No.
Never
No.
once.
It's not cool. He's my kid.
He's a bear, Steve.
He also has a kid. So, like...
But you're into bears.
God. Nice family appropriate show.
I mean,
it is. I don't care.
you're into the Chicago Bears, the Cubs.
No, not... Well, I haven't been
Cocaine
into the
Bear.
Chicago Bears in a long time.
Well, you should watch them again. The shout outs. There's one shout out I forgot last episode. some of the reasons why this last Chaos Cup was really fun and memorable and really a good time is because there was several times I had long conversations with Blood Bowlers where we didn't talk about Blood Bowl. And we mentioned that, I think, on that
Yeah.
podcast. But I wanted to give a shout out to Logan Gallenbach and Jeff Gallenbach, otherwise known as Jeffro, and his son Logan, because for a time period, like you guys were off looking at stuff, and I went over to their hotel and just hung out with them.
Hmm.
And it might not have been 2 hours, it might have only been an hour, but we hung out and we just talked, and we talked about the good and bad of like teenagers with mental health and the struggles of parents who are trying and all that stuff. And um, Logan was there for a teenager perspective that was really helpful to a dad who's going through this with a child who struggles. So I just wanted to thank you both for that. Even Jeff, I remember leaving the room and he's like, this was really nice. It's nice to see Blood Bowl friends and not talk about just Blood Bowl, knowing that there's more to us than just Blood Bowl. So that was really nice. And
We
it
normally
was just
don't talk about Blood Bowl. I mean,
huh?
I'm not yucking your yum or anything, but I'm just saying, like, normally we don't talk about Blood Bowl. We don't care about Blood Bowl.
I know we
But
don't, but
yes, it
a
is
lot
nice
of
to
people
talk
go and
about
they
real
talk Blood
life.
Bowl all weekend. And I always tell you that's one of the worst things I hate is the common thing of what's everybody playing,
Mhm.
even though like that's the
You have to,
conversation
yeah.
go to. But it was also nice in a weird way. Social media is so stupid that like we're friends, Facebook friends with these people, but when you are a Facebook friend with somebody for 7-8 years, you also get to, if they post anything about their children, you get to watch them go from like a fourth and fifth grader to a college or a senior or
Mhm.
into college. And so it was just pleasant because I feel like the estranged uncle who only gets to see like Logan through Facebook and seen him grow up through the years. I got to see all the first day pics or the last day pics of school and
Yeah.
silly stuff like that. And here we are now hanging out together. And it was just nice. And I appreciate that. And I meant to give you all a big shout out last episode, but I forgot. So, and then finally, for me, it's just like Merry Christmas, everybody, or however you celebrate this holiday time, or whether it's just hanging out with friends and or doing nothing, going to the movie theater or whatever. So just I like this season. I don't know if I really like Christmas Day because it's all the buildup has happened so quick, and then you're like, well, we're done. And then I really hate like the months of January and stuff
That
because
was always the worst part about Christmas growing up was you got that morning, you got your toys, you got your breakfast, you got to open up more toys, you got to play with the toys, and then you crashed because you got up way too early or did not sleep, and then you got to clean up, and then it's Christmas dinner with chores, and now you gotta worry about going back to school and putting the tree up and taking down the outside lights and the outside decorations and
100%. I think as an adult,
God.
Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday, and the build up to Christmas is fun.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, people, I don't know why we can't be nice to everybody or hold the door open for people or whatever normally, but at least it feels like most people try to change at this time of year. So,
Yeah, I didn't mention it, but I've mentioned it before. When I was growing up, my dad did a lot of carpentry stuff, and
mhm.
we had so many decorations. And we could not put anything up until after December 5th because that was my sister's birthday. Still is. Um, but so we had to put up the Christmas tree on like December 6th. We had to put the outside decorations up after December 5th, which used to mean, it was freezing cold and windy and the ground was frozen. And when I talk about putting up decorations, I'm talking about a life size sleigh with life size reindeer, with a life size Santa, and 8 elves, two snow people with two snow kids and a snow dog, a blow mold, thank God, nativity with a real wooden manger, two carolers, a lot of poinsettias that were. No, most of the stuff is carved out of wood, just like plywood with
Right.
paper and paint on it. And my God, it was such a pain in the ass. Because, of course, we had to set everything up correctly. And the 8 reindeer and Rudolph, we had Rudolph, they couldn't just be in a line. No, they were staggered because, 2 rows. And then they were taking off. So we had to have them up further, each one on the metal poles. And again, this is usually when the ground was frozen. So we're having to drive metal poles into the ground so that they would stay, and then run lights through them and rope for the sleigh. And we had to put lights outside so that they'd shine on the stuff, and just like, oh my God. Not to mention putting lights on the house. And my dad did it every year. We hated doing it every year, but we loved having it out.
Yeah. I used to complain about the same things, but my dad, like your dad, it was probably had his own methods, and it was,
Mm-hmm.
the lights were never going to come down for sure. And, that's just those John Wayne dads, Yeah, my dad was like that too. So I wish I had lights on the house, but I don't. I'll be honest, I don't want to do the work for it. So that's
No,
why it's never happened.
there's so little of that anymore. It's sad. Like, I get
There
it,
is
but
there's a guy that's next to my sister's house. He's always had like a Griswold type house, and
mm-hmm.
he was putting up stuff when I drove by there today. Still putting up stuff in his
Jeez.
yard. His yard is super full. And it's like, dude, it's a week before Christmas. Like, it's enough now. But
Yeah, I always had an idea of raising money to buy, like, after Christmas, those like 10 foot tall inflatable Tyrannosaurus Rexes with a Santa Claus hat. You seen those?
yeah,
So I wanted to just like buy enough of those to give one to every house in the cul-de-sac. Just be like, here, just put them all up. We're going to be that cul-de-sac where everybody has a giant dinosaur.
dude, that would be awesome.
Wouldn't it?
No, for real. I would initially not like the cost of it, but I
Right.
would love it if my neighbors in this cul-de-sac let's get together and all dress up our houses in
Yeah,
a
it's
certain
like,
theme.
what, 10 houses or so? It's not a huge number, but
Yeah,
maybe some would chip in, most wouldn't. But yeah, it'd be cool to like drop a grand and just be like, here, everybody gets one. Put it out, please.
like the Jurassic Park neighborhood of
Mm-hmm.
Santa Jurassic Park. That'd be really cool, actually.
Never happened. Never will happen. So
No, it never will.
that's okay.
But
Well, if you're listening to this after Christmas, same thing. But if it is Christmas and you're listening because you have nothing else to do, if you need to reach out, please do so. We'll be happy to respond and try to keep your spirits light. It's not always the most pleasant time of year for people.
yeah, I know there's a lot of trauma with people out there, and bad memories and stuff like that. But I try to be encouraging and give him, I don't know, the best positive spin I can on this time.
Yeah.
Sometimes I do feel guilty at times, though. I feel like, like I'll complain to you privately. I got 6 damn Christmases to go to starting on the 23rd. And
Yep.
then you go, well, I'm
My
going to go
mom's
see
dead.
movies.
Like,
Yeah, or my mom's dead. And then I go, oh, yeah, I guess I should enjoy this moment. But
no,
it still is a busy time.
everyone struggles in their own different way. So you struggle with too much. I'm fine with too little. Like, I've made my peace with that a long time ago. I'm happy going to watch movies. Um, yeah, eventually maybe do stuff with real people again. I don't know, but whatever.
Well, I don't have much else to say, but happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and I think you should find like some fun little song to put at the end of this thing.
Like, I probably am not dropping something at every little break already, but I
Yeah,
will
you're
do so.
probably
Yeah, make
yeah.
sure to include that link for the
I was
claymation
going
Christmas.
to like suggest that we take a song and turn it into like have a Merry Jolly Nufflemas or something like that, and then I was just like, I barely have time right now to record this podcast. We're doing it on the only 2-hour block I have.
Yeah, as I say,
free.
I think it's funny that you don't think that I have like a list of those ready to go.
Well, if you remember, maybe you could pull out the Zara and Morgenthau thing from like 10 years ago. Remember that?
Oh God.
It was the
Barely.
cold outside thing with Morg
Yeah.
and Zara the Slayer.
Yeah, no, I'm not doing that. But
Why?
if someone can remember that,
Yeah, they can.
man,
That was maybe 10 years ago. You should.
I
maybe
would
put
not
on
doubt
there.
that. We've been doing this for 12 years now. So
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
it's a long ass time.
It is. Well,
Yeah,
we're
we
gonna
are
keep rambling
rambling
if we
so.
don't wrap this up. So, Merry Christmas, everybody. We'll see you next year.
If you'd like to email Both Down, the email address is bothdownpodcasts@gmail.com. Or for more information, you can visit them at bothdown.com or at facebook.com/bothdown.
Ugh, that was so bad it locked up my computer.
Quick, let's get out of here before it finds the key. No, I mean it.
All right.